Welcome to Strategic Voices, where we explore the cutting edge of technology, innovation, and leadership with some of the brightest minds in the industry. I am Divya Giri, Executive Editor at India IT 360, and today joining me is Farhan Choudhary, Senior Product Marketing Manager and Evangelist at Snowflake. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me, Divya.
Yeah, and how are you?
Very well, very well. Yeah, things have been going so
Hmm.
well. There are so many innovations happening, and I'm very, very excited for this discussion today.
Yeah, so before we start this discussion, can you share a bit about your professional journey?
Right. Thank you, Divya. I come from a practitioner world. So I've worked as a data scientist. I've worked and fiddled around with a lot of data. I've built machine learning models, deployed machine learning models, managed my own data science team, and created products. And that is the background that I come from. Just prior to Snowflake, I was working with Gartner. Gartner is a research advisory firm. They are well known for advising organizations on their critical priorities around different technology areas, where I was an analyst in the AI domain. And I've worked with a lot of organizations, just guiding them on their critical priorities around AI, data, machine learning, governance, security, and others. And I'm here at Snowflake. I look after product marketing in India, evangelize Snowflake in India, and I speak with everyone across the board, be it decision makers, C-suite, C-1, and also developers. So I'm privileged, I can say, to have a sense of and get an opportunity to interact with some of the brightest minds in the industry, the challenges that they are facing, and again, a privilege to meet these challenges head on is something that I get to do day in, day out. So very happy with where I am, this position.
Yeah. Thank you so much for running through your background. So, what key market trends are you observing in AI data-driven solutions, and how is Snowflake adapting to them?
Right. This is a brilliant question, and let me break this down for you. So you said AI driven data solutions. Let me break down the three key terminologies in this entire question. That is AI, that
Mhm.
is data, and that is driven. So AI, as we know, we are all talking about it. Data, as we know, is absolutely foundational. Driven is where we talk about value. So I'd like to take this question in different segments. So data and AI has increasingly become a spotlight for a lot of companies today. A solid data foundation is something that has never been more critical. But we are seeing more often than not, many companies struggle to deliver quality data and AI initiatives that can drive value for their business because their data infrastructure simply can't keep up with the pace of innovation that is happening in this area. So imagine like this data infrastructure today, think of it like a old city network, right? It starts with a very few simple roads, alleyways, paths, but before you know it, new routes get added. There is no clear plan, and suddenly there is a web of winding streets and alleys and dead ends that you have to struggle with, and you cannot retroactively fix it. And even if you want to fix it, that requires such a big overhaul. A lot of companies we see, they optimize for short-term wins in the data and AI space. When we talk about data marts and departmental data marts, it leads to siloed and fragmented information. And this siloed and fragmented information is really what keeps organizations from realizing business value. So when you need a unified single source of truth, this approach doesn't hold up. Yeah. And then, we talk about data lakes, lake houses, all of these unmanaged data lakes and lake houses, they look very promising, but the engineering overhead required to integrate all of these data sources in a secure, governed, collaborative way is very, very difficult. And this is where a lot of challenges, arise very, very quickly. And this is where we thrive, right? Um, our aim is to remove all of these challenges and create a robust, strong, governed data and AI foundation that is very, very easy to navigate. And our approach is grounded in, I'd say, three guiding principles. The very first one is collaboration, right? Collaboration both internally and externally with our stakeholders, our partners, and what have you. Because in the realm of data and AI, all of us know we don't work in a silo. Even teams, data and AI teams, don't work in a silo. They collaborate with one another. So we make it very, very easy for teams to collaborate with one another securely, and also collaborate with external partners and agencies and suppliers and everyone, without the need of data movement or very complex integrations. So collaboration is something that we have a big focus on. The other one is governance. Um, we have been talking about it since ages. Our approach is to build governance from grounds up to ensure that there is optimized use of data and AI for all users and for all applications. So governance is something that you don't give up right from the get-go. So it's not a day 3 or a day 4 problem. This is something that is embedded in the ethos of the way we operate and we help our clients work. And the final piece is just the extensibility of the platform. Extensibility in the sense that we give flexibility to our customers to succeed with extensible data and models, um, because that is what they want. We want to ensure that they get complete flexibility over their architecture, their data, the way they want their models to work, so on and so forth. And that's the third key ethos that we work on. So you see, we are working day in and day out to ensure our customers' success. We are making data and AI very easy for the enterprise. We have a saying at Snowflake. We say that it just works, and we have heard this testimonial from a lot of practitioners. They just say that it works, and these three words summarize the way Snowflake is. It just works. It's very simple and easy to use. And finally, when we were talking about extensibility, I want to say that we are interoperable. We want to serve as an open and integrated partner with an enterprise ecosystem of data, applications, and services. So, this goes to show that, we really believe in, the three major things that we believe in is we want to be easy, we want to be efficient, and we want to be trusted. And that's the way we are looking at the whole data and AI landscape.
That's great. Thank you for explaining the whole thing so perfectly. So, how does Snowflake's technology enable businesses to extract actionable insights from their data more effectively?
Again, a brilliant question. So I'll go back to where I started, right? So imagine you've just been appointed as the head of data and AI for a large enterprise, and they tell you that, hey, I need value out of my data. Now, you see, you go from being appointed as a head of data and AI, and your end goal is to derive value out of data. How do you do it? The first and foremost thing that you'll need is unifying all of that data in one place. Unifying all of these data that is sitting in applications with different personas, in different data marts, in different systems, be it IT, OT, IoT systems. Because you're working with so many systems, you want to bring it all together. You want to unify it one place, because that's how you will get a view of it. Once you've unified that data is where you'd want to say that, hey, I want to go into operational analytics. I want some BI built on top of it. That's the next thing that you do. Diagnostic analytics, as they call it. I want to do some diagnostic analytics on top of it. Once you've done diagnostics, you will see that, hey, more and more business users want to interact with the data. How do you want to interact with it? You want to do it in an easy way, and you also want to throw in AI into the mix. So we have the likes of co-pilots and others that help business users interact with their data more effectively. So they can ask the right questions without having to worry about the complexity of writing, very complicated queries, for example. The next thing that would happen is you'd get into predictive analytics, right? We make it very, very easy through our Snowflake ML, through our Cortex AI functionalities to make sure that again, this becomes very easy. Gathering insights from data becomes very easy. The other piece to this is applications. Now, once you've unified all of this data in one place, you've gone through operational analytics and reporting, you're able to democratize data and AI to the users, and you're able to derive value out of AI in seconds. You would want some AI in minutes as well. This is where we have Streamlit. Streamlit is an open source Python library that allows a lot of users to write interactive web applications. Again, becomes very easy because you don't have to learn a new language. If you know Python, you can write in Streamlit and create applications. You don't have to worry about learning a new language altogether. And you can really integrate Streamlit and the AI capabilities that Snowflake has to offer to deliver AI within minutes. And then finally, you can build custom applications using Snowpark Container Services. That's the next thing. And all of these options to ensure that enterprises are able to gather actionable insights from data more and more effectively, and all of this while staying fully secure and fully governed. So that's going to be my answer to that. So all of this, we give all the power to the users, and this is how we want you to derive value out of your data.
Okay, so with the rising demand for real-time data processing, what advancements does Snowflake offer to stay ahead in the tech-driven world?
That's a brilliant question, and I really love this question for the fact that a lot of us, when we think of real time, data processing, or when we talk about streaming data analytics, there are two. I'd say there are two sides of the same coin that one side is something that we often miss. We talk about fast streaming, but we don't often talk about data activation. So fast streaming does not equal data activation. Fast streaming data ingestion does not mean you can get value out of your data just as quickly. Ingestion is just part of the equation. It's not the whole story, right? So, and this is again, we have lots of capabilities. I'll talk about it in a second. But I feel when we talk about real-time data processing, we often overlook what are the latency requirements that we are looking at, or what are the latency requirements that we'd be okay with, because this is extremely important for cost optimization. At Snowflake, we feel the ease of use and the simplicity where you have all of your data in one place is an absolute win. Cost to performance is something that we pride ourselves on, because when it comes to real-time data processing, you want to look at the cost to performance, not just the performance metrics. Because when we talk fast streaming data, there are three types that you would look at. You would look at batch ingestion, look at micro batch, and then you would look at real time, near real time, and real time. When you are at this side of the spectrum, where you're looking at batch, micro batch, governance is easy. You can, you don't have to write a lot of code. The operational overheads, the cost isn't so much. But when you move towards real time is where things start to become a little more tricky. This is where governance becomes slightly more difficult. It's more complex to maintain those pipelines, so on and so forth. In terms of innovations that we have, and when we talk about streaming, we have to talk about ingestion and transformation. The way we simplify it is we allow in-flight transformations using dynamic tables. We have a capability called dynamic tables. We have both Snowflake tables and Iceberg tables for interoperability. Iceberg format is something that is taking the data and AI world by the storm. We support both of that. We have hybrid tables, that is for high watermark queries. Now, we see there are many niche platforms out there that would give you single digit latency. But again, the question is, how do you want to look at it? I mean, the cost to performance is something that is always a big concern, and this is where we thrive. And while many claim that they play nice with others, they often lack feature parity. So you have to look at the bigger picture. So streaming data and real-time data processing is not just one isolated use case. You have to look at the holistic picture. You look at whether or not you can share data, whether or not you can mask data if it is sensitive. You need to rethink transformation approaches when it comes to streaming data analytics and real-time data processing, because it has a lot of caveats to it. And simplifying all of it is where we thrive.
Okay, so collaboration is critical in today's tech landscape. How does Snowflake support seamless data sharing and integration across platforms?
Right. I just summarize this by saying one thing. Snowflake makes collaboration easy. So let me explain what I mean, right? when we look at the traditional methods of data sharing, these are your file transfer protocols, these are FTPs and SFTPs. You would call data through APIs. There are federated protocols. This is very costly to maintain, and also this can be a very costly proposition overall. Now imagine if I have to share some data with you and I just send a file, an Excel file to you with maybe sensitive data or data that otherwise I shouldn't be sending, I can land my company in a big trouble. It's a federated protocol. I'm just sending this data over to you over an email, right? Uh, it's costly to maintain for you because even if you do some updates, you send it back to me. I do some updates, I send it back to you. This is a very costly procedure. And then we are overlooking the security and governance aspects of data sharing. The other piece is, the data wrangling that is required to train and distribute AI models. That becomes very easy, very difficult. And if I am doing this, right, if my approach is I share data to you, you share data back to me, and we do this maybe 10 or 11 times, we are creating silos. This approach is highly ineffective. What we say is, uh, you know, uh, we allow for a privacy preserved collaboration to take place, right? So there is a single managed copy of data across cloud region. So there is no ETL required or copies required. This gives you very fast delivery and control with insights derived from that shared data. So that is very important. I mean, that's the biggest selling point, right? Privacy preserved collaboration that is secured and governed. Yeah. And then, very easy distribution. So if I am on Snowflake and you are not on Snowflake, I'm still able to share data with you securely. So, and that becomes another big USP because what I'm saying is you don't have to be on Snowflake for me to share data with you securely and in a governed way. And that becomes another big USP. And the other piece is, you can directly install apps inside your Snowflake environments, in your Snowflake environment, bring code to data. This is another of our biggest ethos when it comes to AI and when it comes to applications and such. We say that don't take your data outside a secure and governed perimeter. We say bring your models where the data resides, inside the secured and governed perimeter, because that is safe. That is the right thing to do. And this is where, again, we feel, we thrive, where we have cross cloud collaboration and governance with SnowGrid. Procurement becomes very easy. You can collaborate internally within your organization using Snowflake. You can collaborate across organizations. So we are unlocking silos through and through. Well, I'd say we are breaking silos through and through. When we are saying that you can collaborate both internally and externally using Snowflake. And this is where collaboration becomes so easy with Snowflake.
Great. So, what role does Snowflake play in enhancing AI and machine learning workflows for organizations?
Right. Again, a brilliant question. And I'd like to answer this in three parts. Yeah. As I said earlier, our core philosophy is that you don't take data outside the secure and governed perimeter to the models. You bring models to the data, and this is where the foundation of our platform is. Your data remains secured, governed, and private. You can bring managed embedded models and LLMs inside Snowflake. So we have partnerships with AI21 and NVIDIA and Mistral and Rika and Meta and all of a lot of leading LLM providers out there. And you can directly call those models to your data without really having to give up the security of your data overall. Then we also have a lot of developer and analyst tools. So when it comes to low code chatbot model builders is something that we're doing. LLM fine tuning is something that you're able to do inside Snowflake using Snowpark container services. We have Snowflake ML that allows for you to write end-to-end machine learning workflows. So going all the way from how you're exploring your data, how you are engineering features, and feature store is another capability that we have, how you're able to generate synthetic data. So in case you don't have enough data, sample data to work with, you can generate synthetic data. All of this falling under the realm of making AI and machine learning workflows very easy. There is, automated BI, managed text to SQL that we have. We also recently announced something called Snowflake Intelligence that is for our agents, and how you can interact with data in a whole other way. We are very, very excited about that capability. Orchestration, something, observability, AI application observability is also something that we are working on. So all of this to make sure that you can trust in your AI and machine learning workflows in a very, very easy way. And we also have built-in AI apps. This is not to say that this is only for the expert persona. This is also for personas that are not AI engineers, not AI scientists, so to speak. We have, through our document AI capability, you could do intelligent document processing. You have co-pilot capabilities inside of Snowflake. So again, we want to make sure that AI is there for everyone, is everywhere, and is secured and is governed. And it gives you all the flexibility and the composability that you need to build a robust AI and machine learning workflow. So Snowflake AI, as we say, is very easy, efficient, and trusted.
Great. So Snowflake's AI data cloud has been making waves. What makes it unique compared to competitors in the market?
Right. So let's first talk about what are some of the key challenges that we have observed, through different, say, solution providers, or say through, different trends that we are observing in the market space. The very first one is complexity, and complexity is driven by silos. Simply, silo data and silo tools prevent access to insights. Yeah. You are, likely forced, and when we talk about complexity, you're likely forced to leverage specialized skills to move data around, and there is patchwork governance. So there is no single unified governance framework that is built in. And all of this is foundational. If you don't fix this, other initiative, including your AI strategy, all of that will be slowed down. And complexity, we feel, is also driven by vendors. So some people will sell you, and we say this, some people will sell you parts of a car and then tell you to build it yourself, or sell a service on top of it, saying that, hey, we have sold you the car. Now these are our service engineers, and they will build the car for you. So you're seeing where I'm headed with this, right? We at Snowflake, we do not do that. We give you the car, and we go out of our way to abstract complexity for our customers. I'm sure you would have a car, a four-wheeler that you would drive day in and day out, right?
Yeah.
I also have a car. I am not an automobile engineer. So if somebody were to ask me to, open an engine and fix some pistons and make sure that my clutch is working right, I wouldn't be able to do that. But I know I can trust that system. It is safe, it is secure, and I'm able to do what I'm supposed to do with it. I'm able to derive value. My value out of my car is that I'm able to go from point A to point B safely, in the most fuel efficient way. I'm not marketing my car at the moment, and I'm able to reach on time. So this is what we do here at Snowflake as well. So complexity is something that we just break down. The other thing is controlling costs. So when you have a lot of complexity, you're managing your own infrastructure, you onboard a lot of expensive resources, you have overhead, you have delays, and there is unpredictable demands and usage patterns as well. And we saw this a few years back, right? When the pandemic hit, usage demands, unpredictable demands, just skyrocketed. This is something that this is a place where we help our customers. We are efficient in nature. And then finally, we want to deliver, the most efficient data and AI platform out there. We provide a managed infrastructure. It extends the capability to, serverless AI. You can get GPUs, and you can get incredible economics out of the platform. You pay for only what you've used, and governance is built in. And I've been emphasizing governance and security so many times since we've been talking, because it's absolutely foundational to any data and AI strategy out there. If you don't get your data right, if you don't get your data governance, data security, data right, your AI strategy is almost inconsequential. And the final piece, as the extension of governance, is security and privacy. Data privacy regulations are going. We see in India the DPDPA would soon come into force. New compliance risks, new security threats are ever present now, and especially in the era of generative AI, right? If I am getting access to a a conversational agent to write good code for me, a malicious actor is also getting the same tool to write malware. So you
Okay.
see, it's very important to stay ahead of the curve. If my data is not secured, governed, and I'm not looking at all of these security threats early on, I am planning for failure. We believe at Snowflake that if you are forewarned, then you are forearmed. So if you can preemptively, work out a lot of these things, you can create all of these checks and balances, all of these procedures, all of these guardrails early on, you're protecting yourself from a lot of malicious actors going down the line. And we'll see a lot of this in the future as well. Security is something that is catching up a lot in the world of AI. And we have prioritized security and governance from day one. We have Snowflake Horizon, which is our governance solution that looks across compliance, security, privacy, interoperability, access, all of that in that single unified solution. And the Snowflake AI Data Cloud delivers enterprise AI in a twofold manner. And this is what I'd like to leave you with. It's an AI-powered data platform that is allowing you to use AI to intelligently ingest, govern, and optimize your data workflows. So we are an AI-powered data platform, and at the same time, we are a data-powered AI platform that is allowing you to build incredible advanced AI products using your enterprise data. And this is where we stand out. So we went through all of the complexities, how we solve for it, and how we are looking at data and AI.
Okay. So, what advice would you give to organizations still needing to be more confident about using advanced cloud-based data solutions?
Um, I think this is a very interesting question because um, to some degree this question is about technology, and I've talked about technology a lot. Um, I will talk about in general how this affects the future of work, and also how we need to look at this whole piece not just as a technological construct but also a social construct. Yeah. There is a big mindset change that needs to happen when it comes to data and AI. One, of course, the approach that we have had so far, and a lot of organizations have had so far, and a lot of organizations that I interact with are still facing this challenge, is that the data is in silos. If you're not breaking down the silos, rest everything is inconsequential. You want to bring all of that data together in one place, unify all of that data, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time. Um, Obviously, workers, be it business analysts and SQL analysts and BI analysts and anyone and everyone basically who works with data or has worked with data will impact workforce across industries. Um, there are jobs that are going to be transformed using AI, and I think we are at that point in time where uh, leaders as well, leaders as much as workers will be challenged to adapt to an increasingly AI accelerated world. So, and this is a big leadership challenge. I think moving forward, leaders will have to be very smart about actively adopting AI tools themselves as they're empowering workers. But at the same time, they also have to be very cognizant of um, the approach, the tooling, the methodology that they're using. I know Gen AI has taken the world by a storm, but there are still opportunities where classical machine learning, rule-based optimization techniques, heuristics would still play a very significant role across industries and still solve for those problems. So I'd say, to your question, right? Um, Organizations that are still needing to be more confident about using, cloud-based solutions need to evaluate all of these approaches before just going for Gen AI. Gen AI is great. It can solve for a lot of enterprise use cases. We are solving for a lot of enterprise use cases for a lot of our customers, and would love to talk about it. But what I'd leave you with is this: that the classical approaches are still going to survive, and we need to prioritize which approach fits best, cost to performance. Remember, managing resources, people that are going to work on the platform, that they should be able to work on it very easily, is something that needs to stick around. One of the metaphor that I love to use is this. Um, you you really don't want to use an axe to cut a cake. Yeah.
Yeah.
The question is whether the question is not that whether or not the axe would cut the cake, because it most certainly will. But is the axe the right tool for cutting the cake? Of course, if you have a cake that spans kilometers and is hard as a tree, then maybe the axe makes sense. But otherwise, a knife or even a spoon, if the cake is really well made and you're very, very hungry, the spoon would also do the job. So our take is just this: evaluate multiple approaches, look at the one that makes the most sense, cost to performance, security, governance, and ultimately able to derive value in the fastest way possible. Don't just go after the shiny object that is that a lot of us are, a lot of organizations, frankly, are going after. And also now they've realized that they now need to focus on value, value that this shiny new object is deriving for them. So I know, going back to this whole point, I think we are at that stage now. I'm very happy with this. I think coming few months, next year onwards, is going to be all about what value am I getting out of this, and that conversation is going to become more and more prominent. So just to anyone wanting to be more confident with all of these cloud-based solutions, remember, you want it to be easy, you want it to be efficient, and you want it to be trusted.
Yeah. So lastly, where do you see Snowflake and the AI data cloud technology heading in the next 5 years?
Um, so our major our prime focus is going to be on making organizations enterprise AI ready. We want to make organizations ready for enterprise AI, and we want enterprise AI to be easy, efficient, and trusted. I think in 2024 we hit sort of a snag in when it came to the enthusiasm of AI, because there are a lot of organizations now looking at it from a skeptical eye, because uh, you know this was in the news this year, last year sometime, when somebody copy pasted a code, proprietary code to debug on a famous conversational GPT, and it was all over the news, exposed the organization to a lot of reputational, legal risks involved as well. So I think a skeptical eye is necessary. It's good, and it's absolutely necessary. And I think it's forcing a lot of organizations to do deeper thinking, and it can prevent them to, um, be very, it allows them to be very budget conscious, and also it also prevents them from being very, very impulsive about this technology. And it's encouraging us to look at guardrails and responsibilities, and look at as much profit as potential. So I think AI is going to make us smarter. That's inevitable. It will drive improvements in a lot of areas: health, education, urban planning, so much more. But I think it's going to take a few more iterations. We have to be very cognizant of what we are trying to do. We want to look at the downsides and the difficulties. While we are seeing it now, we also want this to continue, and we want again, at Snowflake, we just want our customers to derive the best value out of AI, in an open, flexible, secure, and governed way. And this is what our focus is going to be for the coming years.
Thank you so much for sharing these insights, and thank you for tuning into this episode of Strategic Voices. I hope you found our conversation with Farhan Choudhary as insightful and inspiring as I did. Don't forget to check out more about Snowflake and its innovative solutions. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. Your support helps us bring more powerful voices and ideas to the forefront. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll continue exploring the minds of tech leaders who are shaping the future. Until then, this is Divyagiri signing off. See you next time.